Zero is a very underrated operator. Not only is he A tier for watching flank, but the sticky ability of his cameras allows you to use his Argus cameras in ways that you can't with any other operator apart from, that's right, Valkyrie. In this video today, I wanted to show a few different Zero and Valkyrie cams that you can use on competitive maps. All of these I found myself, a couple of them I've been using for a while, and a couple of them I just found recently while playing in custom games. If you like these creative spots, then I implore you to go into a custom game, pop on some music, pop on your Spotify, SoundCloud, whatever it be, and just sit back and run around the map and try and find the most creative cameras you can. If you find any cool ones that you think are worth sharing, then feel free to hit me up on my Twitter, Luast, or on my Reddit, Luast also. So, without further ado, let's jump into the maps, starting with Oregon. So jumping into Oregon, you want to make your way to Big Tower / attic area of the map, and as you can see there's a kind of black texture that they use below the T3 balcony that in the top left corner creates a nice little shadow. So if you're trying to protect yourself from a flank as you're pushing attic or you're pushing down tower stairs to pillar, then you can use this as a great flank watch, and it's unlikely to be seen as it blends in pretty well. For the Valkyrie cam, go to games room and pull down the window and stand completely still so you've got the right position. Line up your Valkyrie crosshair where the two antenna poles meet and go up about as shown as on the screen. Throw the camera and you can get a 180 plus view of the whole south side of the map. So you can see people that are spawning in street, big tower, down by junkyard, going onto master. There's just so many angles. This is a one I had from back in the day when I was playing on console, or not that long ago really, that I found when I was playing in a custom game, and it's just really effective. If you don't scan obviously and you just yellow ping and try not to be too obvious when you're on it, you can really get some incredible vision, and yeah, I would suggest this camera, it's great. Alright, moving on to Clubhouse, and you're going to want to make your way into stock, line up your crosshairs where I show on the screen, and then move across staying on that line. Shoot a hole above, and then pop that Argus cam in that gap. And that will be on the green box that's in cache that a lot of people play behind, but also has great vision around the different areas of the site. You can use this camera either early or late, but especially in a late situation, you can place it and you can get good vision, and it's very difficult to shoot. When the bomb site is in cache, that bomb chassis protects a lot of the big angles that you can get to actually shoot that Argus cam easily. Otherwise, you have to get a really deep angle, and if you rotate around on the close, it's very difficult to see, and especially like I said, in a late round situation, you're not going to be able to do that so easily. Okay, head down to Arsenal for the VALK cam, punch out this crate, punch out the bottom right corner of that pallet, and then go prone in and push yourself as far as you can to the top left corner. Then if you see that blue kind of fencing, you need to have your Valkyrie crosshair on the bottom left square on the thick strip exactly halfway across the line if you see on the screen. Throw it, and then once you've thrown that will give you a really nice vision into default through the actual fencing, but make sure it's exactly on that crosshair, otherwise you won't be able to see through the fencing and you could miss someone planting. A great thing about this camera as well is that if the attackers are droning it, they actually can't ping it or like Z-ping it properly through the actual pallet. You have to drone into the shelving, and in solo queue that could be very difficult to communicate with teammates. So heading over to Consulate, this camera isn't anything flashy, but if you go on the spiral window, place it on the outside, you can get a quick camera to set up to watch flanks or rotations from spiral stairs or from long desk. This camera, like I said, isn't anything flashy like some of the other ones, but if you want to get early intel and a camera to be up for a long time in the round, you can use this camera to catch roamers, and it's just very effective. Make your way down to garage for the VALK cam, and if you go to the front of white van, you can actually get a VALK cam inside of the bumper of the white van. And there's obviously a little gap at the front so you can see in default, but you can actually use this cam for sound as well, and it does actually see onto yellow. But I'd say one of the best things about this cam is that it's nearly bulletproof from the front side, because where the gap is, it's actually impossible pretty much to shoot from that front side, even if it's pinged. So this is pretty much a bulletproof camera. You can't get it from above with IQ. This is a great camera to have, and it will stay up and around for a long time most likely. On Kafe, head to restaurant window and shoot an Argus cam into the bottom of the chairs by the restaurant, and you will get a camera that blends in very well with the shadows that can also give you early or late round intel onto a lot of high traffic areas. This camera can see onto brown stairs but can also see all the way down into small bakery, so of course you know it's going to be very effective, and can also catch people that are running out from the double door of sight. Head to Bakery for the VALK cam, pull down the barricade, keep your feet still, and line up your crosshair with the metal pole on the screen split exactly down the middle of the crosshair. Now when you throw it, you'll get yourself a nice head glitch onto the door of Bakery, and because of this, it's actually quite difficult to shoot unless you're elevated. And the thing with this camera is that it's not actually that difficult to hit as long as you keep your feet still when pulling down the barricade. Onto Chalet, and no matter where the site is, you're usually going to need to clear library, so head out onto the top of main lobby and you can get a nice camera onto the main lobby window that, again, because of the shadows, makes this camera blend in very easily, and you can get a nice line of sight onto the bar door, onto main lobby stairs. You can get Snowmobile stairs angle as well, and this can cover your flank no matter where you're pushing, whether it be onto master and you need to cover your main stairs flank, or whether your Hibana is trying to open hatches and wants just a little bit more safety that no one's going to push up from those Snowmobile stairs. Head up to library window for the VALK cam, and again, not moving once you pull down the barricade. Line up your crosshairs as shown on screen in the little gap between the fence and the tree, and then throw it out, and you'll have a really nice camera that gives you really good vision outside Snowmobile, but from the reverse angle it blends in very well with the grass and it's almost impossible to see unless you drive close with a drone, and then even then it's pretty well hidden. So this is a great cam to use, and this was something that I just found really easily in a custom game. On Villa, go to bathroom window and line up the painting so it's halfway through the door frame that goes into master. Now move across your crosshair so that the V is on the part where the horizontal and the vertical line of the shower rack connects, and then move it across very slightly so it's as shown on the screen. Then shoot the Argus cam, and now you'll be able to get an angle that lets you see onto Astro stairs and onto the Astro door if anyone's playing aggressive. This camera is really difficult to see when you're on those Astro stairs, and a great benefit of this camera is that it's actually bulletproof from one side, so even if you have intel on this cam or you hear it, unless you're on the master side, you won't be able to shoot this camera regardless, and so it will stay up. For the VALK cam, head down to laundry and line up your crosshair so it's halfway across this painting on the screen. Now move it all the way up so it's about 2 panels on the ceiling. Shoot your shots with the deagle into the ceiling and you'll be able to get a nice camera that goes onto the underside of the master bed. Similar to the camera that was in cache on Clubhouse, this camera is very difficult to shoot unless you have the right angle, so even if you drone it, it's going to be hard to get into the right position to be able to actually shoot it out. And the only easy place to shoot this camera is if you go onto the side of the bed that exposes you to the door of both the bomb sites, and obviously that's not going to be ideal, especially with that intel relay from the Valkyrie camera. And finally on Coastline, head to the roof, shoot a camera as shown, and now you'll have good angles that let you cut off the rotates from Luggage and also from the Hookah sides of the bomb site, or if you're coming from VIP and 90. If you shoot out the vase as well, you'll be able to see people that are playing aggressive on the Hookah door if you're trying to push into Hookah as the bomb site, and this just gives you a lot of intel. It's another one of these zero cameras that you can set up early that will give you intel for most of the round. And another thing about this camera is that it's not easy to shoot this cam out without exposing yourself to someone on the roof or a door or a window. So this is a nice cam. And last but not least, head over to kitchen, shoot a hole in the top left corner by kitchen door, throw your VALK cam up against the beam. Now shoot 2 deagle shots just to the right as shown, and this cool camera that I found will give you a nice line of sight onto the default spots under the window if they're trying to plant by kitchen window. And this is cool because it's kind of a one-way angle in the sense that it only shows their feet, so it's hard for the players who are inside as attackers to be able to actually see the Valkyrie cam. So unless they drone this, as usual, this cam's going to stay up for a while. And as you can see, you can't see it from above as you only shot out one part of the ceiling. And that's all for this video. Tricks like this are what made me fall in love with Siege, and the game is just an open book of opportunity to be able to discover new ways and new things. It's so cool how we see operators that have been in the game for years and people are still innovating and mixing things up. I really encourage you to jump into a custom game every now and then and just get creative with it. Just look around the map, try and get some clever ideas, think about how you can use the environment to your advantage, and just take time to really dive into these maps. Like I said, a lot of this content has been out for a long time, but there's always more to unfold. Anyway, drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this and enjoy what we're doing on the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.